the channel is called Dangerous Pilot Life, but it's not so much about that. It's more about doing something that's important to you, doing something that's meaningful, and taking action and understanding that whatever you might do in life, whatever it might be, you got to do something in order to change your current situation. And also understanding that your brain just wants to keep you lazy, survive, and not being eaten by predators, if we go back a million years ago. And so if you're to change your brain's behavior and thereby your by default behavior, you gotta step outside the comfort zone. You gotta do something else. You gotta understand and be willing to to expose yourself. You gotta be vulnerable. You gotta do different things to achieve different results, I think. I hope you all are doing amazing. It's been a while since I've made a last video here for good reasons, and for rather obvious reasons, I would call it. First of all, I do want to thank you all very, very much for all the wonderful comments each and everyone has decided to put into my latest video. So Einstein, he said, to what I recall, something, and I'm sure one of you guys can correct me because I can't remember it probably, but he said something like the lines of, the thinking that creates a solution needs to be different from what created the problem. I'll find it and put it on the video here, but it's so true. So if you want to change something in your life, if you want to do something different, you need to change the thinking. A little summary from last time in the latest video, I was talking about doing my base training. Base training is really where you fly the aircraft for the first time, and in my case, it's a 737. Since then, almost a year has passed by. Not completely, but almost. And what has happened since last time has simply been, I shouldn't say simple because it hasn't really been simple, but what has happened has definitely been, I finished my base training and I did my line training. Now, line training is simply where you prepare a pilot to fly on the line. So becoming a normal pilot with amazing colleagues. And after I finished my line training, I was offered a permanent position in the company I'm flying for. And it's really where I am right now. What about now? Some of you might ask. Right now, I'm really enjoying that I am able to fly the aircraft I'm flying, to get passengers safely from A to B. And most importantly, I have fun at my job. I have fun flying, doing what I set out to be a goal years back. I'm really enjoying it. And comparing 5 years back to now, it's just for me a major achievement. Everything sort of becomes a habit. But as long as you can enjoy that habit, I think you're in a very good place. The last 6 months in my life, what's been going on? So I mentioned it briefly before, line training. Line training is where you prepare the pilot to fly the line. Now, it works out in such a way that a pilot, if you were to become a pilot and you were to first finish your flight training and then you're training with an airline, all of these procedures differs a little bit, but it's somewhat mandatory to do line training in the companies. So you're being assigned a base, depending on how big the company is, and then you commence your line training. It's simply where the first flight with passengers, oh man, I cannot describe the feeling of that amazing day. On my behalf, it was somewhat good weather. I took off from Manchester and flew to Mallorca. It's about a 3 hour flight, and that amazing with just, it was just so confirming in regards to what I've been working hard for. The latest video, the type rating, the base training, all of the multiple hours you've put into the study. If you're an upcoming pilot, all of the hours you put into studying, that sort of all culminates and all comes down to that one flight. At least for me it did. So that was the start of the line training, and then from there, as the word indicates, it is line training. It is training. You learn and you make mistakes. You got amazing colleagues that's there to help you. A few months passes by. I finished my line training in about 3-ish months, where you work really hard. You're being asked questions throughout the flight of A, B, and C. You answer those, and obviously you prepare. It's just like an interview every day. At least that's how I approach my flying. Is every day I go flying, I prepare to the best of my knowledge with weather, NOTAMs, meaning a lot of information about the airport and the alternates to which you're planning on flying to. So you want to prepare, and it's the same for the line training. And then after 2 to 3 months, I finished my line training, and I was finally done with training. Now, what does this mean? It simply means that you're not training anymore. Now you are a professional pilot that has passed all of your training, all of your simulator rides, initial, that is, so the first ones allowing you to even fly. And it's just a wonderful feeling, because at least for me, that's where I call that a job. A real job where I'm being paid to do a job that's all about safety, that's all about getting passengers and crew and myself safely from A to B. And safety, it's obviously all the procedures within commercial flying is all about safety, and that is the most important thing. But I would say, since I started flying, the importance of me getting the passengers and crew safely from A to B. You sit there in the front and you look back, and then what you're seeing is 100, 200, 300 people, depending on the aircraft, of passengers looking at you. And it's one of those situations where you know what to do. You just got to do it. And you wouldn't have been allowed to do what you're doing if it wasn't safe. Do's and don'ts within the last 6 months. What have I learned? I've learned to, if you work hard for things that are important for you, you can, if you want, achieve those things. You got to work hard for it. And I'd say information, so call that knowledge. Information in general is something you can learn. You just need to have the discipline to sit down and get it into your brain. And most importantly, understand how your brain works. We are all different. I think a lot of people have certain stereotypes of pilots, and even my colleagues in the cabin crew. I used to work as a cabin crew myself, and the reality is, guys, no pilot, no cabin crew, no one is the same. We might be doing the same job, but we all are very different. That also means that we learn in different ways. I think learning material in the airline industry in general is becoming very visual, very auditive, so point being is, it appeals to a set of different learning types, and that's very important. So you need to understand how you learn the best. When some of my friends and family are asking, how do you sort of balance all of the thing, and I say it's always about balance. I always compare it to an ILS. Now, some of you guys that are flying is aware of what an ILS is, but it basically stands for Instrument Landing System. And you got guidance in the vertical, in sort of the vertical path and the lateral path, and it's all about keeping the vertical and lateral path balanced. And it's the same with life, right? You got to keep it balanced, and if you do keep it balanced, it's gonna take you nice and easy down that 3-degree glide path all the way down to the touchdown zone. So keep it balanced, enjoy the little things when it gets busy. I cannot stress it enough. You also got to take a step back and understand the biological aspect of your body, and understand the hormones that are being triggered with different sort of scenarios, right? You got to get a little bit of endorphins, you got to get a little bit of serotonin, confidence into your body when you're going through tough times. Now, that's your responsibility only to understand how that works, and it can be triggered in different ways. It could be running, you just got to be aware of that. It's a habit But as long as you can enjoy that habit, I think you're in a very good place. So right now I'm just trying to get a good amount of experience. I'm flying, I've been flying primarily in England and Ireland, and the flying conditions in those two countries is valuable experience for a new pilot like me. So it's really good experience with the winds and the decision-making process of it as well. Right, I want to bring out some comments that you guys made here on my latest video, just to sort of, like, one of you guys mentioned to involve you guys in the process as well, and I think that's good. It's saying here, I'll just read them randomly. It's saying, new subscriber, what's going on? What's up, man? Well, this is going on. I'm trying to make some content while I'm flying. That's really it. And he said here, if you want to be a successful YouTuber, make your videos about the viewer, not about yourself. Good luck. Waiting for your next video. Cheers. I'd like to hear some of you guys' feedback on that. Is that correct? You know, if you want to be a successful YouTuber, make your videos about the viewer, not yourself. From my time studying marketing, I can only agree with that statement for sure, but I'm interested to hear from you guys as well. Great video. Was it P3D or X-Plane for the simulator? Very good question. To be honest with you, I'm not so much into the technical aspect of the simulators, but I do know that they're quite expensive, and X-Plane is obviously the simulator game, but I think it might be something different than that. Could you please send me the list of questions that appeared for any mock tasks that you may have taken? Okay, so look guys, flight training today compared to 20 years ago is a bit different. And some of you might be aware of it. There's a lot of, let's call it preparation material. There's a lot of previous questions that you can rehearse on. And that is correct. And you do learn by doing it that way as well. But you need to be true to yourself. You need to say, all right, am I actually understanding this to an extent where when I'm sitting in the cockpit 2 years or 1.5 years or 1 year from now, will I be able to apply what's relevant? Now, it's like every other course of study. Everything you learn is not something you're going to be using every day, but it's about having the foundation to understand and connect the different dots. That's the question you need to ask yourself, and so can you be able to connect all of the different dots? I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you're 20, 40, 50, 70, or even 80. I believe that the human being is made for growth. If you take a look at our life, all the way from when we are young up until later on, the human body and mind is based on the principles of growth. If something breaks, it grows back again. If your bone breaks, it grows together. And that's sort of I guess the metaphor you can use here. So set goals. Be true to yourself. Go for your dreams. Do what you really want to do, and understand that it needs to be a little bit scary. If it's not scary, you're not dreaming big enough. It needs to be scary, or it needs to feel a little bit overwhelming. That's really what it is. And look, you got to be aware of your previous traumas. We all got something in our life affecting us one way or another. It doesn't necessarily have to be a trauma. Life is made up of circumstances, previous circumstances, that are affecting you to make decisions based on those circumstances. Now, you need to be aware of what those are, because what if those circumstances are something that's not necessarily empowering you to become a better version of yourself. When you need to make decisions, you got to say, oh, stop, hold up, I got to take one step back. I got to think, I got to, sort of reevaluate the situation on the basis of what I've experienced previously. So be true to yourself, my friend. Go for your goals, go for your dreams. Be nice to other people, and I'm telling you, if you are, you'll get that back for many years to come. All the best from here. All the very best. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for your time. Oh, I almost forgot it. I need to remember. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to leave a comment. Generally, if you got a question, leave a question, a comment. Press the subscribe button. Smash whatever people are saying. The subscribe button. Help me grow the channel, and I promise you, I'll do my very best to make better videos from here. Thank you very much for your time. Have a wonderful day.